shock on your body in terms of it being that cold. I opened my eyes underwater and I saw the whole of anarchy underwater. I immediately kind of pushed myself away from it in the water. It takes about 4 to 5 seconds for the PFD to pop, which feels like a lifetime when you're in the water.
I typically, on my rescues, I would never just grab someone like, hey, I'll give them a splash, make sure they're awake. I'm like, okay, I'm going to come up to you, right? Because they're in a heightened state of panic and stress. And also, I've had patients who, their adrenaline is what's keeping them alive. And I swam up to them and like, oh, yes. And then there they go, they pass out. That's a real thing that happens. Their adrenaline just kind of flushes out and they faint. So it's like,
and they're also available through sail docks, and they send a really dumbed down version so it doesn't occupy a lot of bandwidth or take up a lot of satellite time. And furthermore, you can batch your request.
So now I want you to just realize that you're going to have to get the device so that the raft stays as close to the boat as you can get it when you deploy it. Because when it inflates, there's going to be a sea anchor deployed, ballast bags. It's going to become very difficult to pull this. And it's a big, huge sail without much under the water. So it wants to go away from you to leeward. You deploy this to leeward so that you're not pinning the raft against the boat. This raft is about 10 years out of service date. Like, we had to lift the person an extra 4 feet to get them up over the lifelines, but it saved us from reaching way over the lifelines to put another person at risk of falling in the water. Objective, get the person out of the water.
That can be improved upon before you go in terms of their maintainability and durability. Okay, so the sail repair kit, we've got the picture here. A good pair of shears.
Yeah, rubber gloves, that'll help, yeah.
Let's see, is this...
Yeah, let's try to wrap this around and just pound it in. Does that look like it's sticking?
Yeah, let me give that a shot.
Alright. These little ones should be fine.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'm sure that went in the build, right? That's probably a little bit better one, yeah.
Sonic has a long history with safety, and the crew is made up of really experienced sailors who've done a lot of training. But what we ended up doing was getting the kite down, spinning the boat around. We then we have a medical officer and a rescue swimmer aboard. So we came alongside. What we saw was really interesting. You may have seen a picture of it in the sailing press, but what we saw was that their bow person had gone overboard and was holding onto the bow of the boat, could not get out of the water. And this is a guy, looks like a lot of the rest of us, this normal looking guy, but could not get out of the water.
Make sure he's okay. There are 2 or 3 of them. And see, Bob is actually pulling the igniter across the flare so that the flare stays away from him. Right?
He's also wearing glasses.
And gloves. Now I want you to watch because this flare drops molten material. Flag. Like a road flare. So if you were to put this in a life raft and, oh wait a minute, or if you were to actually just hold this over your boat, oh wait a minute, right? That's molten material. That's why you don't ever put the, ignite these things when you're wearing hand flare. This meets the international standards. It is brighter than the Coast Guard approved flare, but it requires 2 actions to activate.
It's also more expensive, and in these rafts that you guys are in and going in and out of all day, this is what's inside the raft. So in this case, there's a little thing on the bottom you got to pull down.
But wait, there's another step.
And there's instructions on the side in the number 2 font. Anybody here use cheaters? You might want to have an extra pair in your life raft. Make sure there's nobody flying overhead. Go.
It goes off.
Wow.
Right? That's a meteor flare. No parachute to it, no, just a meteor flare.
So for a woman who's using a winch handle on a winch, if you put your chest, this part of your chest, right over the center of the winch, you will have the power that's necessary to do that. And we don't have the upper body strength